Hello. Welcome to Lingerie and Cocktails, you guys. Hey Word. Hey Marlene. Thank you guys for coming in. Give me one moment, you guys. I'm just gonna share myself out really fast. But how is everyone doing? Come on in, you guys. And of course, today I want to talk about gender wars. This is an open panel, so anybody who's interested and want to get on the panel is more than welcome to you. You can say your views. This is not a place that you can say your. Oh my bad. Yeah, this is not a place where you're allowed to state your opinion, even if it's the opposing side, which is fine. Not a problem at all. But I want to talk about how you guys think gender wars started. How y'all think gender wars started, and what we can do to resolve the gender wars between one another. Specifically, I want to talk about Black gender wars. It's like masculine and feminine are fighting against each other. So I want to talk about that, y'all. You came to you came to debate. What up, Cap? Love your avatar. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna share myself out 1 second. I dropped the link too, but I'm not. I personally think, and this is just my opinion. I feel like I know why it's all about sex. What? What you talking about? I personally feel like the gender wars, some of it has to do with the laws, the Jim Crow laws that's put in place. I personally feel like uh, to kind of put the masculine behind a little bit. So then when you have women that are doing better than men, so to speak, then the women are kind of like, hey, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And I think that causes a war against one another. Yeah, let me stop talking so I can do what I need to do. Okay, hold on 1 second. I gotta send this out. Okay. Okay. I know why it's all about. What you talking about? It's all about sex, Marlene. It's pre-programmed. I came to debate. That's my slogan. You know I'm kidding, right? About to go in the house and jump on the laptop. Okay, cool. So this is my thing with gender wars, right? We have a lot of fighting, a lot of back and forth going on, a lot of bickering between both parties, but nothing is getting resolved, right? Let me take a sip. Nothing is getting resolved. So I feel like we need to figure out what's the issue, how to resolve it. Why are Black women saying Black men are not doing this? And why are Black men saying Black women are angry? And oh, you know what? We gonna watch this video this clip that I saw where basically it was a room full of black men, it was a room full of black women, and they both basically sat down and said the things and the issues that they had with one another. And the black men felt like we have attitudes, we angry, um is I want a man that can make this amount of money and this and that, and they're tired of it. They're tired of it. That's what they say. That's what I was seeing black men say about us, right? They say they tired of it, and then when they go get somebody from a different race, they looking at us. I mean, we're looking at them, and we're angry and we mad, and it's like they've tried to work with us. They say they tried to work with us, but we angry and we mad. So child, let me bring up, I'm gonna bring up this hey Jordan, what's up, girly? How you doing? And what's wrong with wanting more? And I honestly agree. There's nothing wrong with wanting more, honestly. I can't. You know me, Marlene. I cannot disagree with that because if we get on other races are known to want more. But then when it comes to us, they want black people to take the minimum, the bare minimum. Just be happy that a man is providing or giving 50-50. Or just be happy that he's giving the bare minimum, the necessities that you need. I don't think that's cool, because a white woman, when she go in looking for a partner, she doesn't go in looking like the bare minimum. I just want him to do this, or I just want him to do that. So I totally agree with that. But I was in on a platform, and someone had mentioned, just some words in the Bible, and they were just basically stating that basically, like in the Bible, it was just saying, like, as long as a man is providing clothing, food, just the basic necessities, that basically we shouldn't want more. And I disagree with that. I kind of disagree with that. Like, if you a woman that just want the basics, then I feel like that's fine. But there are some women who want more than just basics. Is she wrong for that? And a lot of people is gonna be so. And I don't want to bring Christianity into it, and I know some people are probably gonna be mad at me when I say this, because I'm just gonna keep it honest and I'm gonna keep it real, But sometimes I feel like the things that are stated in that Bible is to keep you from not being, from accepting the bare minimum, And so, like he was saying, that the Bible is stating, for a man to just give you the basic necessities. Well, what happened if I don't want the basic necessities? What happened if I want more? What happened if God has called me to be the queen of a certain island? Or what happened if he called me to be the president, or the first lady? Then what? Some black men don't want to be pushed to be better. They are comfortable when they are at, and feel less than when they have a woman who wants more than the bare minimum. Damn, that you said a lot on that, Jordan. I know that's right, girl. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But then at the same time too, they don't want to be pushed. But when you do push a man to do certain things, he likes that in a way. So it's weird because they like it and they don't like it. Because if you saw they like men that most likely are successful, they're with a woman that pushed them to be at the level that they were at. You know? I just really think that. I really think that. Um Black women be selling it since the beginning of time. I agree. We have for a long time. Then get with white women that worship them just for being fine and black and don't care what kind of job they have and they love it there because they don't get pushed to be better. Exactly. Exactly, girl. You said it. For some of them, yeah. For some of them, I definitely agree. Hey, Hilda. Thank you, girl, for coming in. Okay, girl, we'll take your shower. I really do appreciate it, though. Hmm. We having a little topic about gender wars. So I just wanted to get everybody's opinion on it to see what y'all think. Why this gender war is happening? What's going on? You know. We got a guest.
I came to debate.
Whatever.
I gotta hold on. I gotta, I gotta help set the foundation. I gotta put some masculine energy into it. Because the women definitely been setting the foundation with the feminine energy. So to address Jordan, yes, you're right. You know, but just like you say that, I can turn around and say there's some black women out there that actually scorn good black men. You know, that's the problem on both sides. So the same characteristics or nature that we observe black men doing to black women, you know, is a sector of black men who observe the same things that you say black men do to black women. You know, I can tell you horror stories of me dating, you know, people like me dating good black men. So um, the problem is the behavior of both. You know, uh, you say, you know, you see this in black men, but why? That's more of the question that should be asked. You know,
You
these
see what
traits,
in black men?
not being able to be pushed, you know, not motivated.
Do you want to answer that? Why aren't some black men motivated? Does it have to do with his woman not when he come home, his woman is not giving him the peace and not having him, giving him uh I can't even get it out my mouth, but having him be able to giving him peace and also motivating him to be able to go out there and fight out there in the world. I mean, what is it?
So I'm not even go play. We'll go right to the root, right? Um,
No, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't
so
play
we
with
just
it.
go to the root, and the root of all problems is the beginning. Who taught him? Has he been taught? How you can't expect something from somebody who don't know how to do it. You know, it's not something that's just inherited. It's something that's taught. You know, the way I am is because I was taught. You know, and that's why I always say I'm lucky. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm fortunate. I'm lucky to have had the influences and experiences that I had. Uh, but ultimately, all problems start from the root. You know, we can't expect somebody or someone to know something that they never been taught. They never been exposed to. You know, like even the realities that we're speaking of, I observe them, but it's not my reality. I see functional, like my family is a perfect example of black love. You know, so my reality is different from even what we're speaking of, but I have observed it and I hear it. You know, so I understand it. But whatever we expose to is what we inherit. You know, so I mean, even focusing on a gender war, that's what you go attract. You will get more of that. even thinking about it. Putting your energy towards it, that's what you go get. When you focus on what you do want, even when the negative stuff comes, it don't distract you. You keep attracting um, the things you do want. But it depends what you focused on. You will see what your eyes look at.
I agree. I'm gonna speak on that later. But hey, Jordan, how you doing?
Hey, hey, who's that over there?
the
The
word,
name?
Word.
the
No, I was
word.
just trying to say hey, but I didn't know your name. The names
I
ain't
know.
on.
I was just coming up here picking with y'all in the beginning.
I have to agree to disagree. I agree with you saying, but I honestly believe life is what you make it regardless of how you were raised. And I feel like a lot of people use their childhood trauma as an excuse in their adulthood, and it's like at some point in time you have to take accountability for your own life, because there's plenty of people that came from nothing, crackhead parents, foster care, never learned nothing, never had a dad, never had a mom, and they still somebody. They still got good morals. They still got drive. So at some point, it's like I get it. Like if you never teach me how to ride a bike, I'm not gonna know how to ride a bike. But it's up to me to figure out how to ride a bike. You feel what I'm saying? Like I understand that people might not know or might not be used to certain things, but at some point in time, you got to take accountability and make it happen for yourself. Like your parents not being there for you is not the reason why you a bum at 40 years old. It's just not. It's just not. Like you have to say, you know what? Like my parents, I have great parents. Like I have amazing parents, had an amazing childhood, but my parents, they didn't have that same luxury. So both my parents made a decision together that they was gonna raise their kids way better than they was raised, but they very much could have been like on drugs, nobodies, or whatever. They took accountability for their lives and they changed it for the better. So that's what people got to do, in my opinion.
I,
Everybody can't do it, but I just feel like a lot of people use childhood trauma as excuse, or
and
You gotta
because they
say to
lack.
that word.
I feel what you're saying 100%, but and I can tell you understand me, but I don't think you comprehended what I was saying. Um, that was just the first step. You see what I'm saying? You asked what the
Okay, so
problem
what part
was,
did I
then you
not
go to the
understand?
root. Um, so even when people make it right, um, come from nothing and make something out of it, so you
Aliens.
still you still have to have opportunities and exposure. I'm not saying that's the only problem. I'm saying that's the root of the problem. And what I said is you don't know what you don't know. If you're not exposed to something, you don't know. You don't know it exists.
So it's the lack of fatherhood that's in the home.
But I get
Is
that. I get that, and I understand it's the root. But what I'm saying is, if the question is why men act a certain way negatively, and you're saying because it started at home, I'm just letting it be known that's still not an excuse, because even if I never had a father, never had love, never just like parenting, no one teach you how to be a parent. That's just something you gotta look into and learn. No one can teach you how to be a good person. No one can teach you how to be loyal. No one can teach you how to have morals. That's just something you gotta figure out by yourself. If you see the whole world doing one thing, you need to look at yourself and say,
Am I dealing
why
with?
is my relationships not working? Why is everybody calling me narcissistic? Why is everyone calling me a bad person? Why nobody trusts me? And you need to fix that for yourself. If you don't want to, like, because some people, they just bad people, whatever, they just, lost souls. But I just feel like, regardless, like, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, regardless of any of that, people need to take accountability and fix their lives.
and that's a fact. And that's a fact. Um, you still have to deal with things like mental health. You have to deal with things because even being a man, what is being a man? Like you're a female, right? What is being a man?
Actually, I'm glad you said that because I have my debate on being a man. I feel like being a man is subjective. I feel like there's no such thing as being a man. I really don't. And there's no such thing as being a woman. You are what you are, regardless of how you act. That's just a fact. I'm a woman because I'm a woman. You're a man because you're a man. You don't have to be a good man, but you're a man. I feel like the only thing, like when people be like, "Oh, you can't raise a boy into a man." Look, the only thing I can do is raise a good human. I can give my son good values, good morals, and teach him my religion. That's the only thing I can do for him. What kind of quote unquote man he is, that what is that? Like you're right, what is that? Because people be like, a man can't be too feminine. Man can't be too this, he can't be do that. Why does that take away from him being a man? He's a good person. A straight man can work in a hair salon and have female friends, and people be like, "Oh, he ain't no man. He this, he that." Why? What that don't make no sense. A man to me is a man who got good morals, got good values. He want to be a provider, or he want to take care of whoever in his household.
I don't know. I've never been a man, so I can't say what it's like to be a man or anything like that. So I don't know.
And that's the difficult part,
right?
Because most men, like everything that women desire from a man, most men have not been taught that, have not even been exposed to that. And what happens is we in America, we don't even have a culture. And see, a lot of that, that's why I say it starts at the roots. You know, a lot of people
But
just figure life out.
men try to do what they want to do though. Like we just said, we both just said we can't tell you what a man is. So a man can't say, "Oh, I'm trying to be the perfect man for a woman," because it's like every woman is different. So what does that mean? A woman, your specific woman will tell you what she wants out of the relationship, and he can make that happen. But I don't see what that has to do with childhood. Because if I say I want you to be loyal to me, what does that have to do with your childhood? If you seen your mom and daddy get cheated on, you saw how toxic that is. Change it for the better.
How?
How? Don't cheat. It's that simple. What do you mean?
Because
if you want to repeat generational curses, then go ahead.
But see, you're talking from a standpoint of like you got to figure it out, right?
I'm talking from a standpoint of these are conversations I've already had with my parents who already been through these things with their parents, and they did not have those excuses. They did not make those excuses for themselves. My mom didn't have parents. She had to get adopted by her grandmother. My mom had my brother at 14 years old. My mom made a lot of mistakes. But when she was raising me, she realized she wasn't going to do that with her kids. The way her parents were with her and her upbringing, what was around her, she realized she didn't want that for her kids. So what I'm saying is sometimes people have no idea where to start, but they have to start.
I'm not going to lie, for some people, they don't know how, though.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to her, because
some people don't know how.
But the thing is about that is, what people got to understand is there's a lot in life for somebody. There's gonna be people on drugs. Here. Hold on. What you want, baby? Yeah. There's gonna be people on drugs. There's gonna be people that cheat. There's gonna be all these people. So I feel like what y'all are saying is like, I get it, but it's like sometimes people just lost. Some people just not gonna do right. Like everybody got a place in life. Everybody can't be saved, and that's just that. If they don't want to change, it's like, how can you not know where to start? Ask somebody for help. You got the internet in your hand. You got the world in your hand. Look up ways to be a better person. Like, look up counseling.
Like everything you saying, you right. But for some people, they just can't.
And that's unfortunate for them. That's life. Everybody don't know how to change. Everybody don't know how to get off drugs. Everybody don't know how to stop cheating. That's life.
But see, that's what I was trying to tell you. That what you saying, that's what I said. Everything you saying is fact, but it's ways to go deeper. You know, like and to go deeper is to solve the problem. You know, we can put expectations or standards there, but we have to understand, like what Tay is asking, like how did it get this way? How can we change it back? So we can have a solution, but how can we apply it is more what we're saying. And to go back and I'm talking about to break these curses, just like you said. Listen to everything you just said. That was your experience. This is what gave you the uh, bravado to move forward with the way you think. Is because of the experience you have. So how can we replicate that? What can we do to have other young people? Because a lot of these
For people
problems,
who don't have parents like you, and
right?
you had a good
So
example. What can you?
so
They have to go find help for themselves. That's all I can tell y'all. If they don't want to find help,
How? If they don't know, I'm sorry to cut you off. Word.
no, you're fine. Okay, so what is y'all question? Y'all saying if someone grew up bad and they don't know how to get out the cycle they're in, how do they find help?
it's not just fine. How do we even prevent this? This is what we doing. We
You
saw
can't prevent it. You can't. That's what I'm saying. That's
you
life. Like
can
you can't prevent it.
You can.
No, you can't.
defeated
You can't because
once you
it's billions and
once
trillions of people in the world. Somebody bound to have bad parents. That's just life.
realistic,
Like realistically.
and realistically, what you're saying is true. But what now? Listen to what you're saying. You already defeated yourself when you say it can't. And don't take this personally. I don't even use that word because you're thinking too big before you even really heard what I said, what I was implementing. We're creating a structure, things that we can do within ourselves. We're not trying to save everybody, but we're trying to give solutions to people who need them that we can save. So by thinking we can't do it, you even you won't go deep into the think tank with us to find these solutions. You know, it's people gonna be listening to this.
Oh wait,
You know,
hold on. Can you hear me?
um,
Okay. No, I was answering Tay's question. How do you prevent it? Like, how do you prevent people from growing up and struggling and just prevent them for even doing that? You can't prevent it. Like, I don't care. You don't use the word can't. That's unrealistic to not use the word can't because just some stuff you just can't do. Can't walk on water. But what I'm saying, if you want to talk about ways to like help those people, yes, there is, programs you can start. There is stuff that can happen, outreach programs and everything. It's more things that you can do to lower, you know, the amount of bad adults there is. But I'm just saying you can't prevent people from growing up in unfortunate circumstances. But
Hey, Bree.
and
hey, 50
and
flavors.
Bree,
Bree,
what's up?
I agree to disagree. I don't care about everybody. I'm just focusing on my tribe, and what we implementing is reestablishing culture, giving
Focusing
structure.
on us.
Right. So you like I said, you keep thinking like you
Well,
can't.
even with
You
black
like
people, it's the same thing on a smaller scale. You can't
I
have
don't even.
every black home be perfect.
Is I'm not even worried about all black people. I'm talking about the tribe. We're reestablishing culture. We're creating standards, new guidelines.
His
You know,
actual tribe.
so saying can't is not an
Oh
option
well, you're
because
in a tribe,
it's
then you on some other stuff that I don't know about. So I'm just gonna agree to disagree as well because I don't know nothing about what tribe you're in, so I can't speak on that.
no. Sure,
I'm
give
just
me that.
saying I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about because I'll keep narrowing it down, narrowing it down. You talk, I'm not talking about them, but I'm talking about this and this, this. Like, okay, well, what are you talking about?
this is what I'm like
Hey,
I said,
Janetta.
you're I focus on things that I can fix and I can help. So even when I say tribe is just people who think alike, you know. It's nothing special, no
You
initiation or
laughing
nothing. It's
at?
just people who come in and have conversation and willing to build and share information. So what I'm saying is I'm not worried about everybody. When I say we're going to do this, that's just a mission. Let's find ways to remedy it. Using the word can't give. That's like a belief. Like when people believe in stuff.
Uh-huh. Let's get to the chat for a moment. Okay, so Liz say because it's easier for a woman to tear down a man than to support him and help him and to help build him up. And then Marlene say, Liz, don't you think it go both ways? And it do go both ways.
I feel like women don't tear down men as much as they say, and I feel like in my experience, what I've personally seen,
You think that?
Well, let me just say this. What I personally have seen in my personal life, because I don't know everybody, we witnessed different things, so everyone had different opinions.
That's true.
But a lot of times when I see it, it's a lot of men that swear they were torn down. But like I said earlier, a lot of women, they really just want their man to do better. When you gonna apply for this new job? When you gonna do this? How we gonna get this house? Blah, blah, blah. And they feel like they getting torn down and antagonized for not having so much. But it's really like, we want you to do better. Not saying the female shouldn't be, good herself and just be bothering her man to do better.
Right, but she might be wanting him to do better, but what is she saying?
Right. And so a lot of men don't like that.
Down.
If they're comfortable where they're at. If they're comfortable where they working and they comfortable how they living and they don't want to get a bigger house and they don't want to do better, they hate that. They hate a woman that keep trying to make them, elevate when they don't want to elevate. They comfortable where they at. And then that's whenever, like I said, they'll go find another woman of another race or something, or just a woman who got less self-esteem or want less in life. And then they think they want a prize because, I was living, in this 1-bedroom motel and he got a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's way better than what I was doing. So they think they want a prize, but like the woman they lost is the woman who got the house now because she wanted better. You feel what I'm saying? And
I was gonna say 99% of the time, men really don't want, like, men will be happy with 4 walls. Like if they was by themselves, men will be happy with 4 walls. The only reason why men do certain things,
and that's certain because certain men like a lot.
And let me ask y'all a question, and I don't know if there's any man in the chat to back me up, but I'm gonna speak from my own personal experience.
Where need help? Any man?
No, I don't need help. Trust me, Dad. You know I don't need help. Let me ask you: as a woman, do you know how to motivate a man? Do you know what motivates a man? How do you motivate a man? Because you said men don't get motivated, but how do women motivate? What motivates a man?
Honestly, people always say that, but it's like men got to get motivated by themselves. Like, I hate when people say that. Like, I can't motivate you. Only you can motivate yourself. Only you can motivate yourself. If I don't motivate you being your wife, your girlfriend, if us having a kid don't motivate you, even if we don't have kids, if I say, hey, I know we want to have kids, I know we want to do this, I know we want to travel, you're going to get a better job if we're going to do this. If that don't motivate you, that I honestly don't know how to motivate you. I'm not going to rag on you every single day, but if you are just not motivated by the simple fact that, dang, I got this girl that I love, I want to travel the world with her, I want to have kids with her, I want her to have nice things because she my wife and I love her, I want to have nice things. If your life in general don't motivate you, then I don't know what to say to you.
But
let me chime in. Can I chime in?
Real
quick, girl, it's your panel.
But you can't do this, though. You can't do this, though. You can't say men don't like being motivated by women, or men ain't, and then say men have to motivate themselves. You can't say that because that's almost
what I'm saying is men don't like a woman that keeps asking them to get motivated. Like a man, certain men, not all men, because some men have that natural drive, but some men are unmotivated. And when they have a female that wants them to be motivated, wants them to do better, wants them to have nice things, wants, their family to progress, they don't like that. They don't like their woman saying, hey, when we going to get this done? When we going to start doing better? When you going to get a better job? You done been saying you're going to leave this job for the past year. That's not necessarily her. I'm not saying men don't like when women motivate them. I'm just saying they don't like to be antagonized when they're comfortable where they're not motivated. Unmotivated men don't like a woman that wants a motivated man. That's what I'm saying. Unmotivated men don't like when they get a female that wants more in life. He's comfortable, he's stuck. Then they get a female that want more in life. She's belittling me because I work this job. I make good money. She want more. She greedy. But it's like, she not greedy. She just want more in life. And that's okay. If you don't want more in life than what you got, then leave it at that. Y'all need to be together.
This is where I disagree a bit. As far as motivating, I feel like men want to be appreciated, okay, for the things that they do, All right. And I feel like it's our job as women to let them know that we appreciate them, because even as the women, we got a hard job, you know. But I feel like men got a hard job as well. And especially if he's a black man, you know, he has to go out there in that world and face certain people and face certain things. And then he come home to you, and he's out there fighting in the world, and then he come home to you, and you ain't saying thank you, I appreciate you, thank you for doing whatever to the family. And it goes both ways. I'm not saying just, you know, he not saying thank you for taking care of the home, thank you for taking care of the kids, or whatever roles y'all got, you know. Because you know the roles can be different nowadays, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But I think a man wants appreciation.
Right.
He
No,
don't
I
want to be doing the
100%
work.
agree that. I'm not saying nag your man and complain and be that. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when it comes to doing better, because even if you do all that, you can do all that. Give your man his flowers every day. Make sure all your role is done good. Tell him you appreciate him. All that. I'm not saying not do that. But what I am saying is, at some point in time, y'all got to have those conversations of when are we going to elevate our lifestyle.
I think there's
And if
nothing
they don't
wrong
want
with
to elevate
telling
their
your,
lifestyle, then you need to part
I
ways.
think there's nothing wrong with telling your husband or boyfriend, whoever, you know, like, okay, well, babe, when we gonna get a house, when we gonna, I don't see nothing wrong with that. And you know, he might not like it because he might feel like, okay, well, he has to work a little overtime, or he got to do a little extra, or just, you know, he has to do a little
Right.
bit more. He might not like it as much, but if he love you, he gonna do it.
Right. That's what I'm
He
saying. A
gonna
man
do
got
it.
to motivate himself. I'm not saying, rag on your man and don't show no appreciation and just ask for more, more, more. Oh, hell no. But what I am saying is when it's time to have those conversations to elevate your lifestyle, if he don't want to work that extra shift, if he don't want to, get a better job or whatever the case may be, then I mean, maybe I need to part ways or whatever the case may be, because that's whenever I'm saying like men got to motivate themselves. If you know we trying to get a house in the next 5 years or 2 years or however long, and he know that, but he just don't care to make it happen or don't care to work the extra hours, that's just a no.
Then that's different. I don't know. Word, you say Word is a man. He knows.
And see, I say it like this too. I understand. It's the experience, you know. I just feel like me and the people I know, once we got with the right women, we became unstoppable. You know, it wasn't nothing that we couldn't achieve, nothing we couldn't do. I think that the man find the right complementary piece. A lot of those problems ain't there. You know,
So what
everyone got
motivates you?
my wife, her
Just
actions, her
having her?
gratitude. No, what she said, everything that Tay said, her gratitude. My wife adores me. She
Mhm.
worships the ground I walk on. You know,
That's what I was saying. That's really what pushed me to go out there
you know,
and do the things that you want. If you want
But
him to
see,
get you
if he a good man, then
there,
he deserved that. If he a good man, he deserved that. But what I'm saying is, I hope y'all don't feel like I would just nag a man. No, I'm saying I can do all that. I'm just saying when it came to that one comment about a girl, when she said she feel like got women put men down. I'm just saying no. I feel like sometimes men say they were put down, but they really weren't necessarily put down. They just had a woman that wanted more, and they didn't like that because they were comfortable where they were at. But
those
yeah,
uncomfortable conversations are needed. And I agree. Those, like she say, those are uncomfortable conversations. Marlene say, if you can't communicate about small things, then you can't grow into bigger things. And
right.
that's true. I want to just 1 second. I want to go into the gender war thing, and I want y'all to sit back and watch these videos, and then they're really short, and I want y'all to, just give y'all thoughts, because you're gonna have black men on one side saying things, and you're gonna have black women on another side um saying things. And they're saying basically how they feel about each other as far as regarding the gender wars and things like that. Okay. 1 second. Do y'all see it? My screen? Do y'all see my screen or no?
Yeah, I can see it.
I don't talk to black women, they don't want to talk to me. The minute I talk to a white woman, they get mad.
Y'all see that?
No, I can't see a video. I see it say couldn't preview file.
Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Y'all go ahead and y'all can talk. Let me figure it out first.
Yeah, I just think, and then I say this too, like I was saying about the root. A lot of the things that I'm sorry, I don't give titles away. So I think the word men is used loosely. I think a lot of the problems y'all have.
Am I dealing with black men that?
Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Word.
I think a lot of the problems that people have is they dealing with adult males, grown males. They haven't been taught how to be men. Just the same and vice versa, you know. To say that about women, I don't, you know, you have to learn. You know, that's something you have to become. And if you don't have direction or guidance, you don't know.
Am I dealing with black?
Yeah. Okay, so I got it. I think y'all. And so the women is gonna speak on one side, and we're gonna listen to the women speak, and then we're gonna listen to what the men say. Okay.
Them, encourage them, but when they got on their feet, they left. I trusted one to finally get involved with a monogamous relationship, have a child. He abandoned me and my daughter. My heart is now blackened because I don't understand how black men cannot be responsible for their actions. How can you bring a life into this world and just get up and wash your hands clean like that's your problem, deal with it?
I feel hurt because no one was doting on me. No one was caring about my feelings or what I needed while my brother was taken care of. So when I grew up and I was out on my own, I became needy. And when I was ignored or pushed away, I would snap. Now I'm not like the violent type. I'm more of the text you 200 times type. I'm more of the verbally abusive type. I hurt people because I'm hurt.
My dad lived 3 stoplights away from me, and he didn't come see me because he married a white woman, and he was playing daddy to her kids. I was young, looking for someone to love me because I didn't have him. So when I made a mistake at 14, I became sexually active, and my first time I got pregnant. And I felt like that was his chance to prove to me that he loved me, and he completely disowned me.
And so she sent me to stay with my dad, a man that I didn't even know. When I got off the plane, he didn't even recognize me. So then when I started acting out with him, he said, I'm gonna send you back to your mom. And I disowned me. And then I met a guy, he's a drug dealer. Every girl wanted him, and he wanted me. To me, that was just so big because I felt like nobody wanted me up until that point. And he took care of me till he got locked up. I said, well, you know, he took care of me, so I'm gonna do what I can to take care of him. I ended up taking these guys up on an offer to do a drug run for them. They said they would give me some money so I could help pay for his attorneys. And one of the guys said that it was a better idea if they just kept me and beat my ass and told them to send money for my ransom, or they would kill me. So I think what you perceive as anger is hurt, it's betrayal, It's being let down. It's abuse.
My bad. So what y'all think? Y'all say abandonment issues, daddy issues.
What do you think about what though? Like what's the question though? But like, what's the question though?
So okay. So we talk about gender wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got females on one side that's stating why the issues that they have with black men is you got abandonment issues. You had the one lady that say, when he didn't have anything, I was there. I did everything for him. And then when he got on his feet, he left. Then you had another lady who said her dad was 3 stoplights away and he was with a white woman and he took care of her kids but didn't come see her. I think you had another lady who said she got pregnant at 14.
Well, the only thing I can say about it is it was unfortunate what happened to all them ladies. The only one that I have to say, because I know a lot of people be like, okay, well, why do you have a kid with somebody if they tell you they don't want the kid, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But what I will say is this. If a man, I feel like it's selfish if a man say he don't want a kid and he go and raise somebody else's kids. That's the only thing. I don't care now if he told you, like if a man tell you he don't want kids when you first get pregnant, X, Y, and Z, you can't necessarily be mad if he not there. But that's a whole nother thing. And I also don't like when men ask women to get abortions and get mad when they don't, because that's a whole nother thing. But as far as you saying, I don't want to raise my blood daughter, but I don't mind raising my girlfriend's kids, I feel like that's wrong.
But it happens all the time.
Right, but I'm just saying I feel like that's wrong.
I think I just think a lot of the issues when you be like, oh, okay, well, that's not like it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because in the black and brown community, this is why the gender cannot get, you know what I mean? We're having gender wars against one another. It's abandonment issues, it's daddy issues. It's huge. Like that is stuff that basically that is inner work that you need.
Girl, where is your mind at?
And I'm not acting like who is Happy Life? Going on. Baby, coochie good. Period. Why is you worried about anybody coochie anyway? For real. Like, going on. And what do you look like?
Hey, can you mod up Marlene?
Hmm. But anyways, I have to go in. But yeah, so that's what I was just saying is that it's just issues, that we have. Let's see what you look like though. Put that profile pic on there with that H and let's see what you look like. Please don't let it be what Lovey Baby, I hope you don't look like that person. Let's see your profile pic and let's compare. I bet you ugly as fuck compared to me. Let's compare. You think you look better than me? Let's compare, baby.
Yeah, I think like is experience, right? Everyone got different experiences in life. And that's why I believe you just go back to the root and establish a culture. You're asking what you can do for your people. That's what we can do.
Yeah, the only thing I feel like we can do at this point is like people like them. I feel like the only thing they can do is get some mental health, do what they've been doing. It look like they're doing, talking about it, open up and about it. And when they have kids, make better decisions for their kids so that, The more people that just say, you know what, I didn't have a fair chance of life, but my kid's gonna have a fair chance of life. My kid's not gonna have the deadbeat. Well, you know, it's never guaranteed that you're gonna have both parents, but you know, you can always lower the chances. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say. Like,
Right, Liz, with them glue braids on. Let's see what you look like, baby. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off
No,
topic.
you did. But yeah, that's the only thing I can say about it. Like, it's nothing really much I can say about it because it's like it's already their life. It's already their reality. So the only thing I can say is that I hope they get the help that they need. As far as fixing those problems,
This is affecting us both as a community. So
right, that's what I'm saying. As far as fixing those problems, the only thing I can say is I hope they make better decisions for their children. So their children don't feel the same way they feel in this moment.
And that's facts too. That's facts. And what she said about mental health, I truly believe that should be a requirement. I think everyone should go talk to a counselor, a life coach, or a therapist, especially if you're Black. That can help,
right,
with the guidance too.
Yeah,
I agree. Black people, we need counseling. We need therapy. You know, if we get reparations, that should be a requirement that we get therapy. We should all be able to get therapy, free therapy. You know, because I mean, the shit that is caused from generation to generation, we all need therapy.
And you know what I think? I think people on, you know, Medicaid, welfare, you know, whatever it is, even if you get something like WIC or food stamps, I feel like that should be a requirement. They should have some kind of therapy classes and mental health classes because people, not saying that rich people don't go through stuff because that's a complete lie, but especially people that are in poverty and stuff like that, they probably need that even more. Like they probably have less access to therapy. So it'd be nice if they had, you know, access to those free classes or free counseling or therapy.
But you know what too? It's levels to it. Like I liked how Marlene said it. There you go, laugh because I keep repeating certain things. But go get you a counselor or a life coach. You know, if you can seek those out. You know, it don't have to be a psychiatrist. It can be there's levels to it.
Right.
So sometimes you just need to get over the hump. So you don't need a psychiatrist. You just
well, y'all book me in a few in a short time. I'm gonna be a certified life coach.
That's what's up.
My aunt just got her LLC like last week.
I got hey, we might have to link up. We might have to link up because I'm doing something crazy on here, but yeah.
They didn't say most are scared of therapy because of judgment. I agree.
And another thing, I don't want y'all to think I'm so cold-hearted on here. It's just like I don't want to get too in depth because I know the conversation is gonna be so long and it's already like 1 a.m.
That's why you be acting so, Jordan. I ain't even gonna hold.
I know that's why I'm trying to say it. That's why I'm trying to say it because I understand how I come off. So I'm trying to go ahead and
come off like that.
But no, it's just the fact that I really don't have. And you know what? Everybody's different, and everybody, you know, needs different things. Huh?
I say you laser coaching right now.
And but everyone's different. And you know what? It's just like, for example, the things I help people with is like some people need a realist. Some people need somebody to pour water on their face. But guess what? Everybody don't like that. Like, you know, everybody needs something different. People have to find what works for them, the type of advice that works for them. I can tell somebody something and you can tell somebody something and they can take it two completely different ways, but we can be saying the same exact thing. So, you know, everyone has to find that person that works for them. Just like you can go to a counselor and you might not like that counselor or that therapist. And that's fine. Find the one that works for you.
I agree.
I don't want y'all to think I'm cutthroat. I am cutthroat, but I'm not trying to be.
you act a little cutthroat.
Bushido
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, we understand. So, what up, Facts? Thank you for coming in. So we're gonna go to the men, and we're gonna say this is what men are basically expressing now, how they feel about
Yeah, I want to hear the men.
how they feel. Yeah.
To a white woman?
Hold on. Okay, let me back it up. Okay, go ahead.
I always talk to black women, they don't want to talk to me. The minute I talk to a white woman, they get mad. You want to think you're mad? I'm mad too. There's a lot of anger inside of me. What about us? Black women talk about me, me, me. What about us black men? We go through stuff too. We're tired of hearing the same thing of, oh, we're independent women. We're independent this, we're independent that. I'm independent too. We have a lot in common. You have this imaginary wall around you. I don't know who damaged you. And me being a black man, I have to suffer for what somebody did to you? That has nothing to do with me. I'm not the enemy. I get that a lot from black women, that we're the enemy, we're liars, cheaters, we're dogs. Diary of a Mad Black Man. I have a journal I keep. And then when I show this side to women, they think it's a weakness. This is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. But then when I show this to you, to black women, you don't know how to receive it.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to being abused. It makes it hard for me to get to know this.
Black women look at me and say, I can tell you don't like us.
Wait, pause it, because he just said
I don't like you.
Me, what about us? Black women talk about me, me, me. What about us black?
Black women look at me and say, I can.
Okay, he was hilarious for saying that.
He kind of said some of the stuff that you were saying earlier. Remember?
But I feel like, okay, I'm not trying to knock him. I'm not. But I feel like, okay, it's two things going on here. It's one, like I said, with taking accountability. Just because your life was shit does not mean you have to treat people like shit. Like, I get what he's saying, like, for the women. They all just said they hurt. So it's like you cannot take that with you into your relationship. And that's basically what he's saying. He meets a lot of hurt women. They take it out on him. Oh, now I'm a dog. Now I'm a cheater. Because that's what you experience. But at the same time, he's sitting there asking, why? Why do y'all think all men is this? Why do y'all think all... They just told you. Because the men in their life was nothing. So it all goes down to how can y'all both heal yourself? Like, it's basically like the blame game. Because it's like they just sat there and told y'all they didn't have no daddies, that this was happening to them, they was abandoned, they never had no good men in their life. And now first thing he say is, well, I don't know about other men, but I feel like he didn't even give a good reason. He didn't even give a reason as to why he's hurt. He just said he basically can't find a good woman because women just treat him like shit, which I guess. But it's like the women were telling like childhood trauma that, you know, followed them into adulthood. He's talking about, and I could be wrong, maybe I misheard, but he's talking about women in his adulthood, like, can't find a good woman, he gets blamed for everything. He feel like women are always talking about, you know, their feelings and stuff like that. And yes, men have feelings too, but it's just like, I just don't know what to tell you. Like, y'all all need help. You two broken people is not gonna be good in a relationship. The woman you with need help. If she always saying she hurt and da, she needs help. If you feel like you always
cold, Jordan. You're cold, Jordan. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to you, but what you gotta say, Word?
I want to point two things out. You see?
Yeah, let them point it out, please.
The energy, you know. And don't take this the wrong way, Jordan, but the female energy. I'm gonna show you something. So like we sit and listen to the women uninterrupted, listen to them out. You know, when it came to the man, we ain't listened to him out. We already had enough.
Well, I wasn't trying to disrespect the man. I just thought that he said a lot, and I just wanted to remember it because the female stories was kind of short. And it's not that I'm undermining anything he said, but I'm just pointing out a fact that what he's talking about is stuff in his adulthood. But I thought it was trying to talk about childhood trauma, what women have did to them. What has a woman done to you to make you, you know, have this trauma in your life? And he didn't, him personally, I don't know about the other guys. He didn't name anything like his mother, his auntie, nobody did to him. He talking about his girlfriends and shit like that.
Right, but that
sorry,
that carries on to another to your relationships, right? He's saying he's been with several black women, and when he chooses to express his feelings, we take it as if, like, you know, he's a punk or, you know, this and that or whatever. And I think,
but I don't think that's a race as a whole. I feel like that's just the women he's encountered.
I don't feel like that's a
so
little.
Is that really
bit,
trauma
like
though?
A little bit.
That's just you have bad luck.
No, I personally, and word, tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I personally feel like a lot of black men sometimes is not able to express himself to black women because sometimes it's looked at as feminine or, you know, man up. And this is why sometimes it's hard a man being a man, because he always has to act hard. When he gets with you,
and I hate that.
When he gets with a woman, he should be able to drop that armor down, and he should be able to express how he really feels with you without you judging him. That's what makes him love you and want to be with you, because you don't judge him when he drops his armor down.
Right. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be able to do that. But what I'm saying is, compared to the stories being told, if I'm saying I lost my virginity at a young age, my dad didn't want me, he stayed down the block from me, I had to catch the bus, this and this and that. I'm just saying, compared to these few stories right here, his story don't necessarily sound like trauma. It just seems like he's ran into a couple of bad women because he's not telling a story from his childhood. So therefore, I don't know how his childhood was, but I'm just saying he didn't tell a story from his childhood. He's telling a story from his adulthood. He always run into nagging black women, and he felt like, what about him? Which I get that, but you need to explore more women and don't categorize the entire race of black women in this bubble because you met. Come on, how many women have he really probably dated? Probably like 4 or 5 or 6 out of everybody. Like,
you don't know how many women he's dated. He's just naming certain things that's going on. There could be other things, but this is my thing: is that Jordan, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. But nobody's perfect on this panel, so even you. So you have inner work that you have to do just as well as me.
Of course.
So when you sitting here saying about other people and like, oh, well, you need to do this or you need to, it's like you got inner work, I got inner work, we all got inner work.
I never denied that. I'm just reacting to the content. Everybody had their flaws. I'm just reacting to the content.
Okay, I'm just saying
we can agree to disagree.
Harsh. So I'm just saying that you like you need to work on your inner work and you need to do you. And it's
I'm just saying
I get it, but it's like.
But that's fact though. I ain't lie.
You not lying.
I ain't lie.
You're not lying.
Everybody, why is it that it's a problem what I'm saying if what I'm saying ain't a lie? That's what people need to really think about, because everybody will say it how I'm saying it, but what I'm saying is not a lie. So therefore, it's like, what's the problem? I never said I don't have things to work on.
Tell her.
It's not a lie. What you said is not a lie, but it's the contradiction. Like at the beginning, you said the childhood trauma is an excuse, but you're elevating the childhood trauma of these women over what this man said.
Yeah.
No, I am not. No, I am not.
You kind of contradicted in a way.
How is that a contradiction whenever I said, if you have childhood trauma, you need to get help. You cannot have that. I said she cannot bring that into her relationship. And I said, it seems like he has met women that has brought that into their relationship. So I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm not saying that's okay for women to do. How is that contradicting? I never said. I'm just saying, yeah, what women need to do is get help. But the women that has not gotten help is the women that he has ran into. How is that contradicting? And that's what he's expressing. He's expressing how he's ran into broken women. And I'm saying that's fine and that's unfortunate for him. I'm just saying I don't necessarily see in this specific setting how his quote-unquote trauma is the same level as their quote-unquote trauma when they are telling actual stories.
You can't that's the problem. You can't compare both traumas.
Right. And that's fine. I'm just saying I don't understand it. I'm just saying I don't understand it. Y'all can understand it, that's fine. I'm just expressing how I don't understand like what we're talking about whenever if everybody got a story about their childhood and this one man talking about his adulthood, I'm just saying he the odd one out. That's all I'm saying. But that's not me contradicting myself. I'm not saying it's okay for these adult women to have these problems. And I said that earlier. I was like, I hope they're getting help. The only thing they can do is get help and raise their kids better than they were raised.
But you just said, too, that their level of trauma exceeds his. You said that.
But that's not a contradicting. That's not contradicting. They still need help. I never said they don't need help. Earlier, I said they need help if they had childhood trauma. I'm telling you now, these women have childhood trauma. They still need help. But it seems like their childhood trauma is worse than his. I never said, me saying their trauma is worse than his is not contradicting what I said earlier. They still need help.
And then the generalization. You said he shouldn't categorize, but you do. You know, you said.
What did I categorize?
Black males.
Where? Tell me where I categorized the whole black race.
Well, throughout the conversation.
Okay, give me a specific example. Okay, give me a specific example.
It's just in the context.
See, if you cannot give me a specific example, it's hard to believe you because you can't even give me a specific example.
In the context of the conversation and the structure of the words, the way you convey.
I'm talking about this one black man in this one video, and I said that in this specific situation. I said that plenty of times.
I can't remember.
So how am I categorizing?
When it came to the female side, you said something, and then when it came to the male side, it was like you flipped.
That's why I said when she
but
said
it's like something. I'm trying to figure out where so I can understand where y'all are under. I'm trying to find out what y'all talking about so I can understand y'all, but y'all are not telling me anything.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewind the live. The right word. It was like when the female side she said something, and then when it came to the male, it was like, oh, it's a different story. Like
the only thing I said about the female side is I don't like when men don't raise their kids but raise other kids. That's the only thing I said about the female side. I said I don't like when men raise other people's kids, but they have kids and they don't raise their kids. That's the only thing I said about that side.
Okay. Yeah, we can finish.
We're gonna disagree.
Agree to disagree.
And they say let the word talk.
I mean, I'm just saying because I hate when people be like, you contradicting yourself, and I'm like, give me examples. Like, I don't have an example. You categorize all men. Okay, give me an example. I don't have an example. It's like, okay.
It's like you can't hear. You're not listening to me, so I'm not.
Okay, give me the example.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Basically, you're talking and not listening. That's
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I mean,
I think he's a man, so he feels like he's defending the man. Y'all feel like I'm jumping on. I really feel like that. I feel like y'all think I'm jumping on the man, but it's like y'all not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not even talking about their specific trauma and the help they need. I'm just saying he's telling a story from an adulthood, and so far everyone's told a story from childhood. That's all I'm saying.
So let's be real. Whether he had trauma in adulthood or whether he had trauma in childhood, whether they had trauma in adulthood, they had trauma in childhood, does it really matter? Trauma is trauma, right?
Not necessarily, because some people can mistake something as trauma when it's not necessarily trauma. Like, people need to know what trauma actually is.
Okay, so experience is experience, right? Whether it's childhood or adulthood.
But I'm just saying a bad memory and a bad thought doesn't necessarily make it trauma, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So let's go back to the video and let's.
Would you agree to this though? Trauma can be seen different from different people.
It can be.
It's perceived different. So what's traumatic to some might not be traumatic to most. you know. And that's what I'm saying. That's why you will never hear me speak for a female, because as a man, what he said, I resonated with. My wife is Middle Eastern, right? I have never in my life, besides her, been able to show my emotional side to a female. I have dated over 50 different females, and they was all black.
And you've been with a black woman before.
My first
So
wife was
basically, you
my
can
first wife was black. You see what I'm saying? And no black woman wanted me until they seen me with my wife. And now, what black women say and what black men say to me, if I wasn't strong, it could be traumatic. I can be doubting my own skin, my own love for my own people, because I made a decision because I've met someone who loved me for me and allowed me to be me. And she just so happened to don't look like me. But I'm
That's
happy.
deep. That's deep. You see what I'm saying? So he relates to what he's saying. So that's why I feel like it's truth in each party side. Nobody is incorrect. It's truth on everybody's side. And he's basically stating that, hey, when he was with black women, he wasn't able to express how he really feels. And I just feel like as black women, that's something that we need to look at. We need to open up our eyes and be able to understand that black men want to be able to let their guard down and express to their woman how they really, really feel and not be judged. And he's saying that he was married to a black woman and he was judged.
Okay, but what I think y'all think is what I'm saying about this specific situation. If anything, I feel like y'all kind of low key, and I could be wrong. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. That's fine. But I feel like y'all are putting a whole bunch of stuff into one that's not even, like, all the stuff y'all talking about is not even what I was saying. I'm not saying black men shouldn't open up. I'm not saying I would judge a man for trying to open up for me. I'm not saying none of that. I'm not saying if my man came to me crying, I would say he less than a man, I'm not saying none of that. I'm not saying that what he's saying isn't necessarily valid. I'm just saying what I feel like. I'm just saying, dang, all these women gave stories from their childhood, and he's talking about adulthood, and y'all are saying no one can say what's trauma and what's not trauma, but that's not necessarily true, because there's a lot of people who go through traumatic events and they don't even realize that it was traumatic, and there's a lot of people who think they went through something traumatic, but after they've talked about it with a counselor or a therapist, they realize it's not as traumatic as they actually thought it was. And I'm not saying that's not his case. I
feel like what you just said is debatable. You know what I mean? I don't want to really go deep into that, but what you just said is debatable. If somebody feel like it's traumatic, then it's traumatic in their eyes. Who are you to say it's not traumatic? You know what I mean? So it's like
it's a whole thing. It's hard to explain if you really just don't get it. And I'm not saying being funny, but I'm saying, like, it's literally a thing. Like, what I'm telling you is really a thing. You can really research it. Like, sometimes people think that something is traumatic, but it's actually not. And once they have,
I get what you're saying, but it's not traumatic. Like, I get what you're saying, but it's not traumatic to you. To them, they might not be able to handle certain things.
Right. I'm not saying to me. I'm saying to them. Exactly. See, you're not getting what I'm saying at all. I'm not talking about to me at all. I'm not talking about to me at all. I'm talking about to him.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm relating to him. To him, it's traumatic. Now,
okay, y'all not getting
it. To someone else, if he was to tell a story, someone else might be like, "Oh, well, that's not traumatic." But to him, it might be considered traumatic because, like I say, God gives you only what you can bear, and that's different for every single person.
Right, but I'm not. What you're saying is what I'm saying. We just saying it two different ways. Like, y'all just not getting what I'm saying. So I'm gonna just leave it alone.
No.
What up, Darius? Okay, so we're gonna finish the thing, but you can tell someone it isn't if it's their feeling, right? You can't tell nobody. Like, if that's one thing I've learned a long time ago. If that's how you feel, that's how you fucking feel. Can't nobody tell you, can't nobody come and say, "Oh, well, that don't mean nothing. No, this is how I feel." So what? You can't come and say, "Oh, well, that ain't traumatic," or "Oh,
it's kind of like this. It's kind of like this. If you put your body,
if I feel disrespected, that's what I feel. So you know what I mean. Who are you to tell me? Well, I didn't mean to disrespect you, and I ain't mean to do no, but you disrespected me, and that's exactly how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you can't.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's different with disrespect because that's something that can be easily deteriorated. What I'm saying is, this is just an example. Say you can hook your feelings up to a machine, right? They can tell you to think of a memory and they can see how traumatic it is to you. If I say something's traumatic to me and they hook me up to that machine, the emotion machine, and they see that the sparks don't go high, this is not traumatic to you when you think about it. They can be like, well, maybe you think it's trauma, but it's actually X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm saying. People think what you're saying is you can't tell nobody how they feel, but what I'm saying is the way he's feeling might not necessarily be trauma. It can be another word for what he's feeling. Everything is not traumatic. A lot of people overuse that word. They don't necessarily get
into what you're basically saying is like what do you call it? A placebo pill. When somebody feel like they're a certain way and they're not really, I don't know.
I'm not saying that it's not trauma. I'm just saying it's a possibility that what he's saying is not trauma. I'm not saying that it absolutely isn't. I'm just saying he could be using the wrong word for his feelings. There's plenty of different diagnoses, not just trauma. Everyone just use that simple word.
Let's just say the damn machine say, "Oh no, it's not trauma. It's this." Okay, well, it don't matter. I fucking feel like it was trauma. What is the machine gonna
do? You would be wrong. You would be wrong. They would tell you
it's still trauma to me. Like who the fuck?
That's like saying I feel like I have this. I feel like I have anxiety, and they be like, oh well, really it's depression, or really is this. Like people be like, anxiety and depression the same thing. No, it's not. Like if I say I have depression, I have depression. Anxiety can come with depression, but they're telling you your specific diagnosis. So I'm not saying that his feelings are invalid. I'm just saying he might not be using the proper word. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he doesn't have any feelings. I'm just saying he might not be using the proper word. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't matter because I don't give a damn if you're a professional or what. And you can say I have anxiety. You can say I have whatever. If I say this is what I have, that's exactly what the fuck I have. Like who are you to come in and say what it is? I mean, I'm over it.
It's like y'all. I just really wish y'all could this person said no machine can change how a person feels. Exactly, they're not changing it. They're telling you what it is. The same way you can get hooked up to a lie detector machine, and a lie detector can tell you if you lying or not. That's not changing if you lying or not. That's just telling you what it is. And
but how many, Jordan? And I'm gonna let Word talk after this. But how many people have went to the doctor and said something was wrong with them? And then they end up fucking dying, and they've been complaining to the doctor that something was wrong, and they go and they check and they do this and they do that, and they don't, and they say, no, you're fine. No, you're fine.
And that's unfortunate for them, but that does not mean that their diagnosis was not out there. They mean they got misdiagnosed by someone who had poor training and lack of care. That does not mean that never go to the doctor because doctors mess up. That's like saying, why go to a counselor when a counselor can tell you the wrong thing? It's okay. We can agree to disagree.
I was about to say, if someone experienced something traumatic and then later on they can heal from it, that could have ended that whole debate. People heal from traumatic things. So that answers both questions. And what I'm doing, I'm not doing nothing against you. I'm trying to actually help you. And I do it in my own little way, but it's just the way you explain things. I'm just trying to show you a different outlook, because especially when you're doing a build with people, we use the term agree to disagree, and that's fine, but it's ways that we can communicate with one another. And I was just showing you a different way. So it wasn't me coming at you. I was just trying to show you how what you're saying can be perceived in a different way. Like when I say contradict, the concept of how you're talking, the context, I'm sorry. I didn't say what you said was contradictory. I'm saying your concepts are. because even what you just did with you're using these professionals, right, to make a point, but then when we counter it, or when it's countered that it's flaws in it, then that's the minority versus the majority. So you take it or leave it, which is true. I worked in the hospital field, so I understand what you're saying, but the concepts that you use is contradicting, not what you're saying, if that makes sense.
Right. And I'm not telling, this is the only thing, and I'm going to drop the whole thing. I just want you, Tay, Word in the chat to understand. I'm not saying I can tell him how he's feeling. I can tell him to brush that off. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, from what he said, in my opinion, it don't necessarily sound like trauma. It can be another word for it. He can get more counseling. A counselor can tell him, I know this may seem traumatic, but I think what you're going through is actually X, Y, and Z. And then it's up to him to be like, yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense of what I'm going through. I understand that better. Oh, I thought it was trauma, but it's actually this. Or he can be like, no, I actually feel X, Y, and Z way about it. Is more traumatic to me, and she can be like, oh, okay. So I'm not saying his feelings change with a diagnosis. I'm just saying a lot of people overuse the word trauma when they actually don't know how to express their feelings, because they don't know that there's other diagnoses out there. That's what I'm saying. Like, people might think, oh, I got a mole on me, it's cancer. No, it can be something else. It don't change your body. It don't change nothing. It just, what you thought it was is not what it was. It don't change your sickness. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling him how to feel. I'm not saying that he don't have strong feelings for what he has went through. I'm just saying it might not necessarily be the word trauma.
You're mixing experience. We're going to get off that. We just going to get off that.
Can I ask a question, though? Would you agree or disagree that you show more empathy towards the female side than the male side during the conversation?
When it comes to him, I can agree that I probably did, because at least whenever they spoke of childhood shit, and he spoke about adulthood shit. So, boom, I don't care. Take care.
Hey, Shay, thank you for coming in. Everybody say hey, Shay.
Because, like, y'all really not understanding what I'm saying, but it's all right.
No, I understand everything you said. Trust me, I do. 100%.
It's like you just be going, you be kind of contradicting a little bit. So I just
it's like if they all said a story about breaking their legs, and he's talking about spraining his leg, and I'm saying, but he said he broke his leg too, and I say, well, it sounds like you sprained your leg and I broke your leg, and now how y'all gonna tell him that he said his leg hurt, he broke it? And I'm like, I didn't say that he didn't feel any pain. I'm just saying his leg might be sprained and not broken. And now everybody mad that I said his leg might be sprained, not broken. That does not mean that his leg wasn't actually broken, because I don't know him and I haven't spoke to him. I'm just saying that's what it sounded like to me.
This is exactly what I want to say, what Liz said. Yes, because medicine that can be proven is different from people's feelings. If a person feels it's trauma for them, then that's what it is. See,
but it's a machine that you can hook up to. It's literally a machine you can hook up your brain to, and they can test your stress levels on certain things when you think about them. So it's actually more than just saying your feelings and they diagnosing you.
Stress levels and what you really feel is. Go ahead, where I'm doing. I don't even want to argue about it now.
No, like during the build, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you see how this can, how showing empathy towards one side can?
It's not one side, because I didn't say that because they were women. Like I said multiple times, I haven't heard the other men's story. I'm only talking about this one man. I said I haven't heard the other men's story. If the other men's story are similar to the women's, then I would emphasize with them the same. So don't think I'm going down on him because he's a man. If the woman would have said the same thing, I would have said the same thing.
No, I didn't get to finish my sentence.
If anybody want to drop want to come up on the panel, I'm gonna drop the link. Go ahead.
No, I ain't finished. But this is what I was about to say, because even introducing that concept to his story, you see what I'm saying? We could have just let him have that and kept it going. But by introducing that, you put doubt on a man's side of his experience, you know, and that's not building. That's you know, elevating one over another one. That might not have been your intent, but that's what happened.
But you're saying, oh, well, theirs is childhood and his is adult,
Yeah.
so that's why it's not the same.
Well, I get what Tay's saying, but what I'm saying is, don't categorize it with a gender, because what I'm telling you, me personally, I didn't say what I said because of his gender. I said what I said because of his story. And if a woman would have told that story, I would have had the same answer for her. And that's why I kept saying I haven't heard the other men's story, so I can't speak for the other men. That's why I stopped it right here, because I'm talking about him, I'm not talking about nobody else. So a man, I guess, is all the men feel like women coming for them. It's not even that. I'm just saying his story.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the video. Did you want to say something real quick, Word? But after that, we're gonna get into the video.
No, I was just trying to show her. But that's just his experience, and we should just, you know, let people have their experiences and understand it from their perspective.
Right.
And that's how we get to the conclusions. That's how you fix problems. You know, we can't use how we feel or how we think on someone else's experience.
Oh, and I wanted to say this because I know a lot of people had said in the comments, like, well, what does race have to do with it? What does race have to do with it? When he said that, do you think what that man stated, do you think it's a lot of white men that feel the same way as him?
Hell yeah.
You think it's a lot of white men that feel like
white men specifically? Yeah, because I feel like a lot of white women want black men. So I feel like I'm not white. I'm not in the white community. I don't know what they talk about, so I don't know. But I do feel like it's a lot of white men that probably be like, damn, I don't amount to people's standards because all these white girls want the nigga. They want this certain lifestyle. They want that dude. They want the big, you know what? They want this, they want that. I feel like they got a lot of standards too.
Now that I will have to debate because of the dynamics. You know, white people are elevated above black people. So when a white woman gets with a black man, it's a downgrade. When a black man gets with a white woman, it's perceived as an upgrade, but it's really not.
But I'm just saying, a white man that wants a white woman, it might be hard for them.
I personally don't think everything that black man said that a white man, and I don't know because I'm not white. And I don't know.
Care.
You know what I mean? I just personally feel like that a white man he's not able to go home and express how he really feels to his Karen. And she doesn't understand him, or she looks at him like he's not a masculine man. I don't think that. So when I know some people had said in the comment, well, what does race have to do with it? This is what, that's the reason why I set up and said, you know, black, white. Yeah, because what he stated, majority of the time, I personally feel like white men are not experiencing this that he's experiencing.
But you want to know what I think, though? I think that don't even have to necessarily do with women. I feel like it has to do with parents, because I feel like it's a lot of toxic masculinity in the household. Kids can't play. Boys, don't play with that doll. Don't play with that kitchen set. Get up. Don't cry. Don't do this. You too big to be doing that. They get whoopings. They gotta do this. It's like a lot of little boys go through so much with their over masculine. Then fucking say the word. Dad, parents, you know, and it's like they sisters see that. So whenever the girl grow up and the dude grow up, he don't know how to express himself. He don't want to tell his feelings. He don't want to cry because he feel like that's weak. I couldn't cry in my house. I couldn't cry to my daddy. So why am I crying to this girl? And then the girl who had brothers is like, why'd you crying to me? That's weak.
This is why I want to say you contradict yourself. It's because you sit up and you just said what you said, and then you come back and say that. That's why we say we contradict. You contradict.
Okay, how? What did I say?
Because you just said in that case that, you know, growing up as a kid, you know, you tell little boys, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that, to express, basically not to express your feelings. And you feel as though it's okay for it to express your feelings. Well, now you just got a man on a platform who stated that I have a journal and I do this and I do that. And when I tend to express myself, Black women feel as though, you know, hey, I'm like feminine. I'm a woman and they don't accept me and this and that. So that's what I mean by
So we just said the same
that's
thing
an
then.
example of you contradicting yourself.
Okay, but how is that? I'm confused on if he said that already, and I repeated what he said. How is that contradicting?
Because you just said you didn't validate what he was saying. You was like, oh, what his was grown and the other ones was childhood.
Oh, that's what he said in this video?
Yeah.
He said in this video that he got a journal?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I wasn't listening to that part, child. But I didn't even speak. But listen, I didn't even speak on that part though. That's not contradicting though, because I didn't even speak on that part. I just said it didn't necessarily seem like trauma.
No, you spoke.
I didn't say nothing about his journal, nothing about his childhood. I didn't hear that part. I didn't even say that. I just said if he's talking about he's ran into girls that always nagging at him, because he said, what about me? He always run to girls that's always nagging at him. Maybe that's just he ran to bad girls. I don't necessarily think that's trauma.
And see,
if I would have heard him say that part, then I would have said exactly what I just said now.
Even when you say I don't think that's trauma, like who are you? You don't know what's trauma for him.
Right. And that's why I said right, and that's why I just said it might be trauma. It just didn't sound like trauma. That's why I said I don't know him. I only had I only had this little storyline of his. See, y'all only listening to parts of what I'm saying. Y'all not listening to I literally just said it sounds to me like they told stories about breaking their legs. It sounds to me like he told a story about spraining his leg and presented it as a broken leg. That does not necessarily mean that his leg is not broken. I just said that's what it sounded like to me. So therefore, I'm not saying that it was not what he said. I just said that's what it sounded like to me. So y'all trying to make it seem like I just said he's wrong. That's not what it is. That's not what I said.
No, I was just saying that in the energy going towards the lack of empathy and the male experience.
I do feel bad for men who grow up with toxic male parents, or women too, because sometimes the mama is hard and they try to overwhoop their kids because they ain't got the dad and they be doing too much.
And, you know, I think I say it like this too. As far as the gender wars, right? I think men and women discount one another's experiences because, just like I said in life, the way we experience things and see things, we look at other people and we think that because of our experiences that they should do this or do that and that'll be okay. But like when me and Marlene was talking about just the way men and women think or function logically and emotionally, you know, my experience as a man is going to be different from your experience as a woman. So the things that might affect you, it might not even bother me, but the things that affect me might not bother you too. So like I said, me being kicked out of mentoring groups because my wife is not black, that was traumatic. You know, it's like it questioned not only my manhood, but, you know, my blackness.
Y'all got kicked out of what?
That was confusing, you know, because I was like, man, fuck y'all then. Fuck all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to help none of you.
What you got kicked out of?
I got kicked out of a mentor group that I basically helped build. Because I married a non-black
your wife
woman.
wasn't black.
Yeah, and it's like we helping little kids. And it's like, you know, that was a part of me, you know, and they took that away from me. And
right. We're gonna play this video, Janetta.
Yeah, go ahead.
But and it goes back to basically what you said. It go back to what old boy was saying. You know what I mean? So you can relate to him. Doris, I'm good. Huh?
And that'll make you look at people different. You know what I'm saying? I was mad at black people for a minute.
Right, and that's what he exactly said. He said, "Well, when I got with a white woman, then, you know, black women started looking at me, you know, funny and this and that." So we're gonna go to the video. But Doris, I am doing good. How are you? Are you drinking? Doris, let's go to the video.
Tell you don't like us. I'm like, what? I don't like you. I love you, but I can't help it if I learn 20 instruments. I can't help it if I play flute, walk barefooted on the beach. And I'm from South Central. I was amazed at you because I even told you, I said, you're a beautiful girl. And I watched yesterday.
Michael, she's a beautiful woman.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Tell her.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I said, you're a beautiful girl. And I told him, I said, this generation right now, people in their 20s, it's hard. Y'all making it hard on these brothers. We gotta wake up every day. Everything has to be about status. We gotta buy this, even if we can't afford it. And then y'all on Instagram, beautiful, and you talking like you don't have no daddy. You sound like a dude talking. Like you ain't got no home training. Oh, what the, and you say you a.
See, that's a lot what he just said.
And let me interject real quick. I'm gonna say
Go
this
ahead.
too. It's the energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I feel a female wants to be more dominant than me. Now that I'm older, you know, I just kind of hang back and like, you know, let them get they steam off now. But when I was younger, it was like I'm the man, you the woman. You know, it was like you trying to take my manhood from me. You know, I wasn't secure, so I understand it, but that's what happens, and I see it. You know, if a man, and it's hard as a man to be secure because of society. A lot of what he said, you know, is so many different expectations, and then you look at other races of men, and I understand the head start they had on us, right? But everybody don't take that in consideration, so we get judged as black men predicated upon other men in other races, white people, Asian people, you know, they got generational wealth. A lot of us don't start with that, but the females want the results of that because they see other females have it and they want it. And I think that too is a problem.
So Hilda is Latina, right? So I wonder, Hilda, if you are available, like just to chat just a little bit, like do y'all feel the same? Do y'all have the same kind of issues? Because you know, black and brown, you know, is pretty much
They
the same
dynamics is
thing.
different too.
Huh?
They more family oriented. All the Latinos,
That is true though.
they believe in their culture. They ride or die. You know, they go through problems, but I'm saying they don't go through what we go through. They ain't been
You got a
displaced like
point.
us.
You got a
Even
point,
if they
yeah.
are brown, they ain't been displaced like us. They still got
And then the
identity and
Latino
culture.
women is feminine, and they, you know, they let their man be a man.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I'm saying. That energy too. That do a lot.
okay, but then so he said a lot in that. Okay, so we're gonna recap. He said basically, you know, I play flute, I walk across the beach, like basically like black women don't accept the fact that he play an instrument. You know, he's kind of like seemed like a free spirit type of guy. I like a free spirit type of guy. I mean, I have no problem. I think I would, you know, I would be into dating somebody like that. I don't see why black women would have an issue with that, but obviously he stated that that's what he has experienced, and I'm not going to disagree with that because that's what he has experienced. But then he goes on to say like y'all got attitudes and this and that. Now I feel like we do got attitudes and we want to be here. He said, like, y'all want to be independent. Now, we are independent in a way. We are, but why have we become independent? That's the question, right? I personally feel like. What up, Chris? Thanks for coming in. I'm drinking some vodka, Chris. Yeah, vodka. I'm drinking some vodka, Chris. She said we all have issues, but one thing for sure is we ride for you, but we don't take shit for nobody. They do. They do.
And to answer your question too, is we have to go back to integration.
Yeah, well, you have to go back in history because the reason why Black women are the way they are, because it's like, and this is why I say is that we got issues, we got trauma, whatever you want to call it, we got issues. This goes back to basically when you want to separate the Black woman from the Black man, and now she has to fend for herself, and she has to be out here, and so now, and then you got artists like INDEPENDT. You know what I'm saying? You got all that music that's saying independent, you know, and it's like we out here on that, you know, bald head, scallywag, ain't got no head, nah. Jailed up, weed up, his hair's messed up. Nah.
But see, if you look in any other culture, no other culture that was done to. You know, they took the Black man out the home. Not only did they take him out the home, they emasculated him. You know, this has been programmed. It's been done. I mean, even if you don't believe the Willie Lynch, you look at it and you see exactly what it said, exactly what's happening now. So this is something that's been implanted a long time ago, and it's gonna take us getting back to our understanding of culture to fix it. You know, a lot of counseling. And a lot of people got to adhere to certain understandings, you know.
Right. So we're going to let him finish talking, and then, you know, we can give our word on it.
Bad bitch? That's not a bad bitch. I'm talking in general. I'm talking about the general that you're, how old are you?
22.
Yeah, your generation. Girl, you 22 years old, you doing this. You having hot flashes?
Yes, it's hot.
Michael, that's disrespectful. I want you to understand that. Why would you do that?
Because I'm being funny. I'm a different kind of personality. Now you're trying to make me look bad like I disrespected her.
You did.
I got a son with a Black woman. My mother's Black.
You disrespected this woman in this room at this time.
My experience is you guys are always mad. It feels like, you know, we're not good enough. You know, it's always, well, I want the guy who's popping, who's on.
I pop my own bottles.
Are you pissed off?
She can't respond to that.
Well, I can tell she's angry.
How does that then make you feel? What is your response to her anger?
It's like, well, I'll just date the Latin women.
Sometimes you just look at a Black woman and go,
you said that shit, hold on. You hear him? He said, so I'll just date the Latin women. Did you hear what he said, though?
He ain't getting that energy from him. I'm telling you. It's that energy, man.
I want to go back to it. She said, so how does that make you feel? He said, well, I just date the Latin woman. Because we angry. We angry. He can't get to us. So it's like, I'm just going to date the other woman. But, okay, and what he said, see, this is the thing, though. It's like, what I can say about men is men will just move on, be like, okay, well, the black woman is tripping. I'm just gonna go to the Latina. I'm just gonna go to this, the white woman. I'm gonna go to this. There are Black women who do date outside of their race, but I feel like there's a lower percentage than male. I feel like there's more Black women who will stay with men. So I'm not disagreeing with what he's saying. I'm just saying there are a lot of Black women in our group who still is like, okay, well, Black men ain't doing this, Black men ain't doing that, Black men ain't doing this, but we gonna stay dealing with y'all. Black men is like, no, you got an attitude. Pew, I'm gone to the Latina. Pew, I'm gone to the white woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we ain't gonna stay in this shit with you. We don't care. Like, we're out. Pew, we gone.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Is a different dynamic because of the way we function. Like that energy, we that too much emotion, always angry, man. We can't focus logically.
Y'all gonna have to. You should be able to deal with that. Okay, she mad, she angry. Y'all can deal. Look, y'all can't deal with that energy.
Listen to what I'm telling you. No, it's not good for us. That's coming. You can deal with it because y'all females, y'all emotional creatures. We are logic creatures. You know, too much emotion is not good for man, either if it's coming from that man or coming at that man, because he will become volatile. I'm telling you, I'm just giving you sauce. We have to be able to express ourselves as men. And if we with a female that has more dominant energy, that's a repel. Like if you take two magnets and you put both of them on the south, they repel from one another. And that's what happens.
Okay, Dubs.
What
Okay,
up,
Chris, thank you. No, you can't have her back. She up here. She quiet now. She was up here rambling though, baby. I don't know what she doing, but she was going in though earlier, Cap.
I'm quiet now because I just don't feel like going back and forth. My opinion is too much. No, but I honestly feel like I just feel like everybody's not for everybody. Not to say that we can't be friends or nothing. I'm just saying I feel like everybody's like the way I talk may come off too aggressive for y'all. Like to where I feel like my point is not coming across the way it should come across. So
no, it's not too aggressive for me. Trust me.
You're fine. I mean,
like y'all said.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was just trying to show you different things. So, like, I understand everything you're saying, and I agree. Like I said, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I'm just trying to show you, like, how you're saying things can cause conflict. That's all I was trying to show you. When you're saying it, but like you said, like I understand people. You know, I had a high social intelligence, so that's why I was saying I can translate between you and Tay easily. You know, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to show you how you can just switch a couple things, and you can communicate it more effectively, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, no, so that's all I was trying to show you. So it wasn't, and that's not even to say nothing bad, because the way you communicate is the way you communicate. You know,
right.
So, like you said, you know, some people, even the way I talk, you know, some people understand me, some people don't. You know, so. But I like everything you were saying. You was on point. I was just showing you, like, if you put more empathy to one side during a conversation like this, it can cause conflict, because it'll almost seem like you're biased, but you're not. But you're pointing out. But the way you point things out sometimes can seem more biased. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And I've told y'all throughout this whole conversation that I'm aware of that. That's something I have to work on. So I mean, what I'm saying, if y'all not getting it, not you because you say you get it, but if other people in the chat or whatever don't understand necessarily what I'm saying, I apologize that y'all don't understand what I'm saying, but I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all. I said it how I said it. If y'all don't get it, then I tried to explain it a million ways.
Oh no, you good. You good. You good.
Yeah, you fine. If they don't get it, they can't get it, you know, whatever. You ain't gotta sit and just, you know, keep explaining. I mean, I appreciate you coming up here, and just because we don't agree don't mean that, you know,
right, of course, everybody got different opinions. We all different.
Right, you know. So you know, yeah.
But I do got a problem with you, the word. No, because he sat down and was like, you paused the video on the dude, but y'all been pausing this video ever since I've been silent.
Oh, I was gonna get on Tay after. I was gonna get on Tay afterwards. I was gonna get on there.
Get on me? Why? What did I say?
Because when I paused it on the man's side, he had a little issue with it, and then y'all been pausing it, and I was like, hold on now.
Because that dominant female energy, like, y'all gotta critique everything the men say, but when the women was playing, y'all just let it go. Let's listen to the women out. But when the men say something, y'all like, hold on, let's break this down.
I just feel like maybe because it was the first time I was watching the video, I just let it run. But I feel like from a woman's side, it's more emotional standpoint in a sense. So maybe, you know, I don't know. I mean, but we can replay the woman's side too for the people that, you know, just come in here or whatever. we can replay it. I mean, and I can go on.
Honestly, I feel like it's better this way because we kind of giving the men more respect because we dissecting them one at a time.
Right, Jordan.
Hearing all the whole thing and then trying to remember parts.
I feel like I'm more on y'all side than the woman's side because I could have went on the woman's side and be like, yeah, y'all don't be there for y'all kids. And, you know what I'm saying? I could have really went in on y'all when she said the thing that she said. I'm on the man's side. If you want to go here, we can go there now. Wait.
No, see, this is just me making my point more profound. That women think emotionally. When you heard the emotional stories, you sit and listen. When you're hearing a logical standpoint of men, you're interjecting it with emotional thoughts, or you breaking it down with emotional ideology.
Don't say
emotional ideology.
Analytical thoughts.
You're breaking it down with emotional ideology when they're speaking logic. That's what's happening.
Okay, y'all. Well, let me say this real quick because I got to go. Because I'm about to talk to my man now. But I will say this, Tay. I think you already follow me. The word. I don't know if you follow me. Do you follow me? I don't know, but I'm about to do a live sometime this weekend, maybe Sunday night. But it's about to be on raising boys and girls in today's society when it comes to, letting your sons paint their nails, wear dresses. Everyone wants to call you homophobic for everything that you do. Is it okay for you? Is it not okay for you? I'm gonna have that talk on my channel, so I would like it if y'all would join the panel. I'm about to change the date because the date says tonight. I was supposed to go live about it, but I'm about to change the date. So if y'all want to hop on the panel and say y'all opinions about that, love to have you.
Do me two favors. Two favors. Drop your link in the chat just so I can make sure when you jump down, and look up the definition of rearing, like the concept of rearing children versus raising children, because that's going to be a big portion of my argument if I have the pleasure to hit your panel. Rearing versus raising.
Are you a mod, Jordan?
Over here?
Yeah, or is Cap? Tell Cap to drop your link.
Yeah, she just type in.
Cap, drop my link.
Just say what
still in here. So Hilda say, I feel it has nothing to do with race and it's how they was taught. For instance, if I'm taught to be with a certain color, I'll stay with the color because that's what I was taught. In general, I love all cultures and I would date any culture as long as they have a good heart. Nobody wants a horrible man or a horrible woman.
I'll date any man. Never mind, I ain't gonna say it. But anyways, I only stopped myself because I know my man in the chat and I ain't gonna say it. I was gonna say what type of man I like to date. I'll date the man I'm with. I'm sticking with him. That's my man. I'll stick beside him. Anyways, good night, y'all. Thank you so much, Tay, for having me. The word. It's been nice.
Good night. Thank you.
Stay black.
Of course. So listen. I kind of disagree, Hilda, when you say it has nothing to do with race. I think it does because it's like words say, Latina is different from black. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Latina woman knows a Latina talks back though. She does. So what's the difference then? That's a good question. Because a Latina will cuss your ass out. She will talk back. So what's the difference from us black women?
Is the culture. They have culture. Ours got taken. So it's just
basically the culture.
And because think about this, even
because Latina would cuss your ass out. She would cuss a man out. She would talk. She would say this and that. So what?
But if a Latina, this is just because my sisters, their dad is Cuban, so they're not Latino. But I noticed, they have
brown skin, melanated people.
Yeah, Mesoamerican in their family, so they got family in Mexico too. So when they came to visit, I noticed even when the wife got mad it was up to a certain point, and then she got a certain look, and you know, it was kind of so even even in the Middle Eastern culture, you know, like my wife's mom used to cuss the dad out, he'd be laughing or whatever. It's just the response and reactions to it, you know. We taught to go against one another. They taught to endure. So when I say the culture, I'm talking about the whole ideology of how they interact. You know, no matter what, they stick together. You know, when we have problems, we go find
See,
something.
right. Okay, so Hilda laughing. Yeah, because they curse. They be, baby, they will give you something. And I mean, I guess maybe that's, you know, that you might have a point with that. But I'm just saying, they will get with you. Them Latina women will get with you. Go over there to her channel, baby. They will get with you, okay? We're going to finish this video out. What's up to Jay? Thank you for coming in. So to appreciate the share. And we're gonna finish this video and see what he has to say.
How does that then make you feel? What is your response to her anger?
It's like, well, I'll just date the Latin women.
Sometimes you just look at a black woman and go, baby, what are you mad for? You gonna give us everything, whip, neck, everything you can with it, and then you just be like, baby, I didn't eat that.
He said you gonna give neck and everything. Okay. Latina women be giving neck too. But okay, I digress. Let's go.
That attitude scares a lot of men off. I'm like, can't deal with the attitude because as a man, I gotta get out here and get this money. And then you come home and you got a battle, you're like, it's not worth it.
That was
I think that was soft on the man's side though. Because like if I was up there, I could have told some horror stories, you know.
You could have told some horror stories.
Yeah, even from being, you know, a young man up until an adulthood, just the experiences, like I said, with black women, I've been put in positions, you know, where I could have either went to jail, lost my life, and now that I look at it, like, was that entertaining just to prove that? What was you trying to prove? Like I told you the story at the gas station.
Yeah.
When she went in and started the fight. But I've been in positions like that a couple other times where women started things just to. I don't understand that. Like, why start something to see if I'm gonna protect you? You know, just putting me in situations. Like I said, even when she was saying motivating, right? So having conversations is one thing, but talking down, you know, I think that's a big problem. And that's why I was trying to say the energy, you know.
Talking down, like what? Like what do you mean like talking down? What is talking down?
Just even discrediting the small things that men do, you know, just us trying. Like I said, all these other races have head start. Even if you say the Mexicans, our brown brothers, right? They got their culture intact, you know.
So, but like Hilda say, if you want to talk about race, read the history between blacks and Latinas. Okay, so what do you mean read the history between blacks and Latinas? Because we pretty much are the same, but then we're not the same.
We're not the same. No, I'm just saying, like, they got Spanish blood, we don't. So what happened?
Yeah, but they're melanated beings, and they have the Aztec, and you know they have the pyramids in Mexico, and you know
that's
things
true,
like that. And they were colonized and shit like that. So I mean,
their culture, they still have their culture, they still have their identity. They
that
were
is
put
true.
through 400 years of deprogramming and reprogramming. They didn't experience that. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, Hilda. I just stated that. But
I can agree with the DNA and blood, but what I'm saying is even if you say they was enslaved, what speak Spanish?
I
You see what I'm
mean,
saying?
if you want to
Haitian people
talk
made
about
it
that,
come.
y'all were colonized by the Spaniards.
Yeah,
And then if
yeah.
you go to Mexico, that's why y'all speak Spanish, but you don't speak Mexican.
No, there's no language. That's not even a language. You know.
Yeah, so
So
you
what
guys
I'm
were colonized by the Spanish people, the
right.
Spaniards.
So I mean, and that's not to discount the experience of Mexicans. I'm not
No, it
discounting
ain't
what they
no
went
because
through.
they were
I'm just saying
colonized.
that I'm,
Yeah,
I'm just saying like even the way they came up in Mexico versus the way we came out of slavery, the things that was done, I'm telling you, we have been pre-programmed. They have an identity. We don't. We are called.
he's correct because if you look at it, listen, Latinas, Mexican, all of that, y'all got an identity. At the end of the day, you still got Mexican stores. You got Mexican. You know what I mean? Y'all
We
got
have
places where
culture.
y'all can go.
I mean, any major city has a Mexican
A
section.
Mexican place where you can go.
Yeah,
Black people, where can black people go? We don't
and
have
y'all
a
don't.
damn identity. We don't have a damn culture. We don't have any of that. We don't have a place where we can go to our store and pick out our food. We have to go to a Mexican, an Asian, a white. We have to go everywhere else to get some shit, but we can't go to our shit.
And
So,
that's what I'm saying. It's not to display. I mean, to downgrade.
and it's
The
not to
Mexican
downgrade
experience.
anybody or
I'm
what they
just saying
went
it's
through
different.
because I can recognize that basically the Mexicans, they were colonized by the Spaniards and they were enslaved and shit like that. So I definitely, I can't say that. I do know the history on that. But at the same time, you know, like you say, not to sit up and, compare, but we ain't got no black store that we can go to, but the Latinas, you can go to the
Even
Boricua, whatever you call it. You can go there and go get your food and go get this and go get that.
even what
The
you saying,
Bottega.
even what you saying, the Latino versus the black. Black is not a race of people.
I mean, if
That's
you
what I'm
want to
saying.
get
Our
that
identity
deep,
was,
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. All right, we don't have an identity. We don't have a culture. Like even okay, they can like she can speak. She's typing in English fine. If she wanted to, she probably can type in Spanish too. But what other language can you type in?
Nothing but English.
You see what I'm saying? So, but even with language comes different ideologies, different perceptions, because some languages don't translate clearly over. So you have different concepts, different ways of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Even that establishes a sense of pride. We have been stripped butt
From
naked.
everything, from our identity. We don't even know who the hell. And we go to our grandmother and our grandfather. We have limited information.
And I'm just saying that's the experience of black, and not to take nothing away from no one else, but don't take that away from us neither. Let us build on that. You know, because to keep comparing or to say, "Oh, this is similar," you discount my personal experience because there's a lot of stuff that we have to reestablish, even if we said we needed to speak a different language. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff, and that to me, a lot of times can be a distraction from what we have to fix. Everybody, even that's what I'm saying. Even having culture, that's still an advancement compared to what we have. Because with that culture established, look how they operate with one another and function. You'll have 10 Mexicans living in the same house, working together, and then move out, buy another house and buy another house. You know what I'm saying? They will build and help one another. Black people, we do crabs in a barrel. We just try to snatch each other down. Even that, it's Mexican people to say that if y'all just stick together, y'all will be straight. I have heard Latino, Mexican, every race of people said that. Asian people, like y'all just need to stick together. Why can't we stick together? We don't even know who the hell we are.
Yeah, it's hard when you've been colonized and they put you through certain things. Like you say, we don't know who the hell we are, so it's kind of hard. It's hard,
Yeah.
but you know, she said, I'm Puerto Rican and there are many blacks who live in PR. We welcome all with us now. Mexicans, I can't speak for. And I don't mean just Mexicans, you know, I mean Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that that, you know, ethnicity or whatever, you know, and I know y'all do welcome all, you know, all cultures, you know, but like when she says this, you know, it makes me think of have you seen Godfrey when he
Yeah. Mhm.
when he talks about going into the Dominican the store, and then he's like, yeah, you black, you know, like you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can send this, if I can if I can pick this up or not. I'm gonna show y'all what he say, and part of that is true. What he say, you know, he be like, you black, and they be like, no, I'm Dominican. And he be like, you black. Oh my goodness, but part of it be true.
Black women, they don't want to talk to.
Oh, hold on.
Men and I talk to a white woman.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, I think that was a poor representation of man problem.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, even like the women talked like she said, you know, the women talked about childhood trauma, and then on top, the men, they didn't speak about that.
They didn't speak about the childhood trauma.
Nah, because doing that, I mean, but then again, you know, like she said too. That's what I was saying. Like when she said, you know, that's not an excuse. You got to fix it. Um, that part is true. You know, that's why I said we all need to have some type of counseling or therapy. You know, that is true. But the childhood trauma, even the men go through, like when she was saying, you can't cry, not being able to express emotion, and then when you get older, you don't know how to the right way. You know, you bottle it all up, and that's what happened. And then one day you explode, and whoever around is collateral damage. And I think that's what happened with a lot of men, especially black men, because you take all that bottled up plus the pressure that society, you know, that you encounter in society. You have a nuclear bomb.
Right. I agree. So you saying the men was weak on that part?
Like they, I don't know, that just wasn't. I don't think that was a good representation, because it leaves, if you when you listen.
Ooh, it's thunder in here.
That was thunder. I thought that was a video you was playing.
It's thunder here. It's
But
thunder. Yeah.
when you compare and contrast, it kind of do, you know, seem like the men are whining.
Scary.
So that's what I was saying. I can agree with her. That was just a poor representation. I'm pretty sure some other dudes could have talked about, you know. But then, like I said too, logically, like they talking about how they the interactions with women versus the women talking about what happened to them to make them not like men now. You know, the women didn't talk about interactions with current men, and that was supposed to be the. I mean, if you're talking about gender wars, so the women, not to take nothing out of context, but the way they presented it, women are blaming their daddies for the problem they have, or the reasons they don't like men now, when the men are blaming the women because they got problems with their daddies. You see what
I
I'm saying?
mean, maybe you. I mean, now that you say that, you like, okay, well, maybe Jordan is right when she's saying like, okay, they have actual childhood traumas, and they're just speaking on their adulthood. So basically, when they were raised up by their mothers, they really didn't have many issues, right? It's just when they're just speaking on the relationships with women, black women that they had. That's their issue.
And see, the reason I don't like that is because that make the women look bad. Think about what I'm saying. Because of your
That
childhood
makes the
traumas.
women look bad.
No, think about what the videos. Because of your childhood traumas, because of what you experienced with your dad, that's why you have a problem with me now. And my problem is with the way you're treating me because of what you've been through. I didn't do
You
that to
don't think
you.
that makes a man look bad?
How? Think about what the men were complaining about the current situations with women. And when they showed women what their gripe was, it had nothing to do with the way men are now. You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
with the men, yes.
They
Okay.
didn't. That's why I'm saying, like in that context, it made the women look kind of sour or broken
Right.
or damaged. And
Right.
the
Yeah.
men are saying, because you see what I'm saying. Because that's why I didn't like that display, because it's making it look like because of what women go through, they take it out on men, and men are complaining that I'm I'm feeling inadequate because of what you've been through, and it's not showing the light of why men are
I
in
mean,
the
look,
position.
if you really want to get really deep and you want to say, okay, most of the men feel like, okay, because black women angry. Black women, we're angry and we don't listen. But then if you take that deeper to like why we angry because we have to sit and raise these kids by ourselves. We angry because some black men don't step up and become the man that they supposed to be. That's why we're angry. You know what I mean? So if you really want to get deep into it and be like, well, why? That's why I go to a Latina women is because some of you men don't step up and be the man that you're supposed to be.
But then when they
When
go to the other race,
Why is
they
there
fail.
child support? You know what I mean? Child support shouldn't even be involved. Child support shouldn't even be around. A man, when he find out a woman is pregnant, he find out that's his child. You should straight up take care of your child. I shouldn't have to go file and go to the court. That's why black women are angry. Black women are angry because they raising these kids by themselves. And they are angry and they're mad because
And
no woman wants to raise kids by their self. And then if I gotta raise kids by myself, motherfucker, help in some kind of way. I shouldn't have to go down to the courts and then make you pay. You should want to pay, but majority of these people, some of these people don't want to pay. Okay, and now I have to get the courts involved.
then you have to look at it like this too, though. Some of those same black men get with other races and they excel. Why is that? Why does that happen?
You get with another race or whatever and you excel is because the simple fact that you just with another race and you excel. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
I just think the communication, the understanding, the compassion between the black man and black female has been disconnected, and that needs to be reestablished. I think we have to teach, like when me and Marlene was having that conversation, and I was telling her, like, you have to explain why things are important to you. When you can tell a man, like, do this, and he don't do it. Like when we was talking about motivating, with men is action. That's what helps us motivate.
I just feel like when you say, oh, well, when she gets with another race, then what is it? It's not because he with another race, oh, that's what it is. It's just the fact that she has endured a lot more than what that other race has endured. And so she's not has a certain type of attitude that the other race has. That's why you able to excel more. But like Marlene said, on top of that, then he say it's not his kid. Like, exactly. Hispanic, Asian, and almost any other race can get a minority loan to start a business we African Americans are denied because those in power and control won't recognize our race as a minority. And exactly because, and that's a good point. Like let me tell you something. I feel salty as fuck when them applications and stuff like that be like, are you Hispanic or not Hispanic, African American?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they be trying to separate, and that's the problem. And then it be like, excuse my French, but it be like, bitch, we are the same. We're melanated beings. You know what I mean? What do you mean? Or am I Mexican or am I black? But that's them trying to separate to try to figure out who you are and shit like that. And it's like, but they put Hispanics in categories of Caucasian.
I'm gonna show you something.
They put Latinos in Caucasian.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little sauce too. Think about this. Even the Africans, even the Puerto Ricans, all these people have identities, but we don't, right? How is that global accepted? How is that possible that everyone on this planet accepts that? Even the people that we associate ourselves with. They don't say, well, you are people, just identify as us. Why not? If we so connected and so close. Man, this ain't just something that one race of people is doing. You gotta open your eyes. That's why I keep telling y'all.
Wait, say that again.
This ain't just one thing that one group agreed to. A lot of people agreed to this, to agree to have us in the condition and situation that we're in. Why you think no one came to our help? You can associate yourself with whoever you want. Why haven't anyone came to our help or our assistance? Nobody, not even the Africans.
No.
Why is that? Who's
the Africans sold us.
For us?
The Africans sold us. Nobody has came to our help.
They didn't. That's a myth too. They didn't sell us. They bought us. There's a reason. I'm telling you.
They bought us and sold us, though, right? Or no?
They bought us. The first slave ship didn't come from Africa to America. It went from America to Africa. They're telling y'all things backwards, man.
Well, damn.
This is what I try to tell y'all. You're different. Yeah, you're different. You're different. That's why we don't think about what I'm saying. No one on this planet has came to our assistance. They took our identity and gave it to another group of people. And when they did that, we became Negroes. Those people became Native American.
This is just in my defense of why we angry, why we this, why we that. And because black men feel like they can't deal with us, because we a certain way. And that's okay. You can date whoever you want to date. That's not a problem. But my thing is that if you want to say why we angry, and this goes back to like feminine and masculine energy, or the divine feminine or the divine masculine. No woman wants to sit up and do both roles. She got to play both roles. Okay, so when a woman got to play both roles, what do you think they do? That frustrates the fuck out of her. That frustrates her.
Can I ask you a question? So, would you agree that as people we have been set back? Like we don't. Everybody else got a head start on us, right?
Yeah, it's a setup, basically. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to be honest, yeah, it's a setup.
So, even when we look out and say what a man is, it's hard for a black man to be a man compared to the standards of other people, of other cultures, other races. It's hard, for us to get to.
I mean, it's hard.
Level.
Yeah, it's hard. And that man said it in that video. He said, you 2022 women, y'all sit up and you look at Instagram and you want a man to do this and you want a man to do that. So he does have a point when he say like, you want a man to be a certain standard, And it's like, let's be real. Like when
Yeah.
that girl, I can't think of that girl name, man, on TikTok. But that girl on TikTok, not even on TikTok, she was everywhere. When she basically explained like black culture, she was like, when she explained it like Monopoly, she was like, if you play Monopoly and you give everybody, the same amount of money and this and that, and when it comes to you getting a property, you burn they fucking property down, you take their money, and then for 40 years you take their shit and then you say catch up. Why for 40 years you've been building wealth, you've been building generational wealth, you got businesses, you got all of this, and then you say to black people after you didn't burn down Rosewood, after you didn't burn down, all of these black
Tulsa.
businesses, Tulsa, yeah, after you didn't burn down all of these places, and then you say, okay, catch up. Motherfucker, you 40 years ahead of me. And now you want me to catch up? Then when you want me to try to catch up, then you got like incarceration where you put me in jail for bullshit, or you beat me for this, or you know what I mean? It's like it's hard for me to catch up.
Now add this into it too. The feminist movement, right? What did that do? That gave females access to jobs, right? That's a good thing, but you just made more competition for men, for black men. And so not only are we competing with these white men, now we got to compete with the black female to get a
Well,
job.
I mean, I do agree. Like I do see that. Like for example,
And then
like
and
for
then check
example,
and then check this out. They hire you at a lower rate than us. So all this stuff is, I'm telling you, is structured this way to put us against one another because they make college, they make things more accessible to black females than they do black males. So not only, and then the hoops and hurdles of trying to provide. That's why people go into the street. We can't compete. We're competing against everybody, even the person in the bed next to us.
good night, Marlene. Thank you for stopping by.
Have a good one, Marlene. So it's structured this way, man. They create this ain't something they just did. This been planned out
I mean, they're
methodically.
geniuses at what they did, but you do got a point. Like, yeah, I mean, and I see that. Like, I noticed that. Like, for instance, like Golden Sachs. Golden Sachs said, you know what? We're gonna invest in black women businesses. Okay, that's great. Like when big companies say, "Oh, we're gonna invest in black businesses, but black women businesses." That's amazing. But what about the black men? Because what
And
you're gonna do is Goldman Sachs, you're going to advance the black women, and then you're gonna have black women. Once Goldman Sachs invests in black women businesses, then you're gonna have black women, they're going to be ahead, and then they're going to be looking at black men with like, well, black men, like now they're complaining, black men, why don't you do this? Black men, why don't you do that? Why you can't do this? Why you can't do that? You get what I'm saying? So basically it's set up for y'all to be behind us and not ahead. So that's why it's a
and then
problem.
even think about this: the programming during slavery, right? We were physical, the black man and the woman, right? That we were physical, but the black men were more physical. So coming out of that, when you look at black businesses, is a lot of them is labor, it's not education. So they push the education towards the black female. Black man is pushed more towards the labor. So that's another reason like even my sister, right? She went to school, became a doctor. Her husband is a mechanic. They about to buy a shop. You see what I'm saying? Labor
Hey,
versus
Jamia.
the education. You know, she's gonna make more money than him. He has potential to make more than her because he's opening his own shop. So that's a business. They got a family business. But if you look at the families, especially going back, the women went to school, the men went into the labor. We were forced to not go educate ourselves to make the money, but to work to provide for the home. So it's just, and then the way we wired, we have to provide, we have to provide. We don't think about education. We think about doing something to get the money to provide. And what can we do? We physical people.
I think, because back in the day, when really black
Hey, can y'all still hear me? I don't know if I don't know if the stream messed up or if it's just Tay. If y'all can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. I see the stream still going. My phone up. I'll tell you dropped off. Okay, y'all can still hear me. Okay. Yeah, it's thundering and lightning over there, so her Wi-Fi probably went out. I'm gonna give it a minute to see if she popped back up. But yeah, the like even the gender wars. Point I wanted to make too is I don't see it big as it is in black culture than it is in other cultures. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't see it really being a gender war. I think a lot of that is in the black culture versus any other culture. I just don't see the dynamics are different, and there's a lot of reasons why. And it's still, yeah, I figured it was your Wi-Fi, and I just think that is prominent in the black culture, the gender war. I don't really see it. I see it in other cultures, but not as profound as it is in black culture. And I think it's been set up that way. We got plenty of scholars that we can refer to speak on the subject. Dr. Francis Cress Wiesling speaks on it. So the word took over. I'm sorry, I ain't got no cocktails or lingerie for y'all, but I can give y'all my smooth, cruel voice. I'm getting the Sandman treatment. Hilda giving me the Sandman treatment. She pulling me off stage. But yeah, but to solve it, I just think we have to it start at home. We have to first be aware of it, understand the problem, and the conversation is a big key. Understanding, the men listening to why the women are angry and find a solution for it. And the women listen to the man, find out why they're angry, and find a solution. Like I said, I think a lot of therapy should be done. There's a lot of healing on both sides that need to be done, from childhood trauma and from trauma interacting with one another. It's therapy that need to be done, but we have to be aware of the work that needs to be done. If people ain't aware that it's work that need to be done, they will continue to make the same mistake. And a lot of it is just miscommunication, not being able to express ourselves. A woman not being able to convey why she's angry to the man, and a man not being able to understand or comprehend her anger. I think a lot of it is, I will say this, I think if we can, as men, understand the anger of the woman, I think we can begin to remedy the problem. Because I think the less angry the woman is, the more she'll be willing to listen to the men. I just don't think you. I don't think you can do it the other way. Uh, that's just my opinion, though. But I think there you go.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Thank you. I appreciate it taking over. It's like y'all here is storming bad here, so Hilda told my sis get back on the panel. I was trying, girl, but my Wi-Fi went out.
I know. I said she gave me the Sandman treatment. She booed me off stage.
Well, I gave you time to say your side, because
Did you hear what I said?
I did. I sure did. I was able to hear. But I think that's a good point on basically, what you were saying. We have issues on both parts, and we all need therapy. I really do think that.
And I think if we, it's just, I think the biggest thing too is communication, understanding the anger, and if we can, as men, can understand the anger, and as women, if we can assist, but ultimately, women got to heal from that, and I just feel that's why I always say find the right complementary piece, because a lot of times we put expectations on how we think it should go with a person, and it don't, and it's because we got the wrong person. It's not that your standards are wrong, it's just it was the wrong person that couldn't meet them.
So you feel like women need to heal and men ain't got nothing to heal from?
Yeah, man got a lot to heal from, and that's what's like me speaking on the men part. Like I can speak on that. Men have to be taught how to be men. Men have to learn how not to bottle up their emotions, but understand them, embrace them, learn them, allow them to work for you. I can be me being emotional works for me. My wife loves it. I can be affectionate with her. It's not weird to me. You know, I can be sensitive. But me being sensitive, I'm in tune to her sensitivity. It's things that women like, and I understand it's important to her. That's me being compassionate and understanding. I embrace all these emotions. Little boys need to be taught about their emotions, not to bottle them up, but to embrace them. Learn when to use them and when not to. I'm not walking around like my wife. Her nickname for me is Teddy Bear. I'm like, why you call me Teddy Bear? She said, you so soft and cushiony, but if somebody bother me, you turn into a grizzly bear and rip them up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I can be soft and hard.
Right. Yeah, with someone else you can be.
I don't have to be hard all the time. I can be soft. You know, I can joke around and be funny. You know, I
Because
can
she
just
hasn't
embrace myself.
experienced the traumas that we have been through.
Yeah, she experienced some. They tried to marry her off 3 times. Her sister's
Some,
traumatized
but
by
they're
that.
not like ours.
No, it's not. Well, it's different too because the man and they, like, you have a voice. You know what I'm saying? They don't. In their culture, they don't have a voice. They just have to do what the men say. If they was back home in Iraq, their husband can beat them or do whatever they want to them, and nothing happened to it. No consequence behind it. They get dogged. So that's another reason. Like I said, they marry them off. You know, they don't even have a choice a lot of times who they marry.
Right, but
They
that
are
just goes
raised
to
to
show that
serve.
like part of the reason why you say, okay, we talk back, we this, we more verbal, we this, we that. The one that's in Iraq, or not even, your wife, we could say, somebody else. She's not gonna necessarily talk back because that's not what she has had to. She hasn't had to endure a man. See, this is the thing. I feel like women are set up to where if a man is not capable of doing certain things, and most of those ethnicity groups, men typically do what they need to do, provide, right? Whether it's any other race, men typically provide. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I personally feel like when a man is not able to provide for a woman, she kind of can get slick at the mouth. You know? And is it right? No, it's not right. A woman can stop her mouth and stop it if he's able to do certain things. You have a lot of women that be like, "Oh, I was a single mom, and oh, I met a guy and I married him, and in the beginning she might have, was doing certain things, but then she started realizing, like, I don't need to, verbalize myself as much. Let me sit back and let me be feminine and let him be masculine."
And see, and that's the head start part I was talking. Like just being with my wife and being around their culture. A lot of the reason the man can provide is not because of what they do, but the family wealth. Like I can tell you story, and I ain't trying to put her people out there, but she got a family friend going through something now where she has to, like, her significant other, has gout, so he can't move around as good. So she has to sit in every room that he wants to sit in. But when he had to go to the bathroom, she got to sit in there. She got to dress him. She can't go nowhere unless he say so.
Damn.
Yeah, even like her mom was telling me stories. It is like the women are more property. So like being an independent woman is not a choice. Like talking back, that can cost you. Um, so it's not the fact that the men are taking care of business, and a lot of times that's not happening. It's because their safety is in danger. A lot of them just get dogged out, and so like
Okay, so I want to be able
her,
to feel. I want to be able to empathize what they're going through. Like, I want to be able to feel that. So you're not able to do whatever it is you want to do.
no, some of them don't even get to learn how to drive. Like her aunt was never allowed the opportunity to drive. Her aunt can't go, and I'm talking about her aunt, her mother's sister. She can't drive. She can't even now. Like her husband cheated on her. She can't go out nowhere without him. Their property. Like you go over to the Middle East, and the Muslim woman wearing hijabs, they take their hijab off and see what happened to them. They lose their life. They can't even. They just start being able to go to school. They was fighting for rights to go to school, to learn how to drive, to vote. They still fighting for rights to vote over there. Like if you go to Dubai, you have to wear a hijab. You can't go out in public without being covered.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. Mm-hmm.
So it's different.
Yeah, it is. It is different because and now that I sit up and think about it, I actually have a friend that's Indian, and I haven't been to her business in a minute, but I remember one day I would always go get facials from her. I would go get a facial done, and she's Indian,
and she has 2 kids. And I never knew like her situation till one day she told me she was married to her husband in India. And, he basically, she was young. It was like an arranged marriage.
Mm-hmm.
She was young and, she basically didn't have an opinion. She couldn't say anything. She couldn't do anything. When she would tell her mother that he was abusing her and stuff like that, they would say, oh, you all right, go back to him and stuff like that. They would never, tell the divorce or anything like that. They would always speak highly of him. And, he would cheat on her like really, really bad. That's what she was, this is the story that she was telling me, that, he would mess with all type of women and things like that. And it pretty much got to the point where even like the bills weren't being paid. Things were being shut off and things like that. But eventually, she said she finally, got some guts and like left him. So, and she was telling me like, in India, that's what it is that, they're arranged marriages and you don't have a voice as a woman to be able to speak up and say things.
And see, that's the and that's why I don't downplay nobody's experience, and I don't even generally compare, because there's no comparison. It is no comparison. Everyone's experience is unique and should be here and listened to, because we can learn from it.
I agree. Facts.
We can learn from it. We can see what they do right and what they do wrong, and if it works, we can implement it. That's how I look at it. But so that's why, I don't do it. That's why I was trying to tell the young lady, like, don't discount his experience. Just listen, let him have that, But yeah, it's the dynamics I believe to fix between the black and the black. Nothing against nobody else. I just don't. I mean, their dynamics is different. I can't speak from their experience. I can only speak from the experiences that I had. And I think the lack of culture, I think that has to be reestablished. A lot of the culture that we have is altered. I use that. They have altered. We don't have our own language. We don't have an identity. Even when we say black, like, what is black? Is it hip hop? Is it what we see?
Right. Where is it? Where's the location?
Right. So I mean, I think all that needs to be talked about and find a common ground, and then that way we can have a way how we can go forward, especially like communicating. We have to heal that anger in black women, and we have to instill that emotional understanding in black men. I think that'll help remedy. If more black men are more understanding emotionally, I think that'll help us effectively communicate with females.
I'm curious, is it gender wars in other races?
And see, there's even what you just said about the Indian, and what I'm telling you about the Arabic. Of course,